Hi, it's Cyndy from Soulprint Insights. I have a really, really special guest with me here today. So, as most of you know, I've been trying to get a crystal video done for a really long time now. And Paul, who you most likely are going to know under the name of White Dragon, you see his comments all the time in the comment section of my videos. So, Paul, welcome to Soulprint Insights. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing fine, Cindy, and thank you for letting me help you out a little bit.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So, Paul, why don't you tell them about the three areas that we broke down? Sort of, okay, so just so you're aware, guys, this sort of video is kind of like the top 10 of crystals that you probably might want to have around, okay? So, Paul, let's talk about how you and I decided to break them down into three categories, because we thought that those three were really important. Go ahead.
Right. We decided to break it down into healing crystals, protection crystals, and spiritual use crystals.
Okay. So let's start with the healing stones. Now, we're going to start with malachite, which frankly, it is one of my very, very favorite stone. You know, it has kind of a funny energy. Some people find that they can only tolerate malachite for a very short period of time. I use it as a Reiki Master. I always have malachite around me when I'm doing any Reiki work. It is the two archangels that resonate to me. I'm going to see if you can see this. They're kind of beautiful little green stones. Paul, you have one too, right? Yeah. So you can see there are these beautiful, beautiful green stones with sort of ribbons of a darker green color in them. And they're absolutely, they have a really nice energy. So the archangels that tend to resonate with that stone are Raphael and Samuel. Raphael, of course, being the archangel of healing. Now, malachite is said to actually magnify the power of love. It is a super, super strong healing stone, but how it heals is that it strengthens your heart. And when your heart is stronger, then you're able to start mentally and physically, then you're able to start healing the other kind of hurts in life. Now, interestingly, they also say that it will attract abundance, and it helps you find your abundance when you are working on your life's purpose. So if you're looking for just regular abundance, I bet you would agree with me, Paul, that citrine is fabulous for that. But malachite is about like the heart. It absorbs negative energy. It absorbs pollutants. Interestingly, if you put it on your third eye in a meditation, it can actually clear and activate your chakras, help with visualization, and even psychic vision. It is truly considered a stone of transformation. Paul, tell me what you think about malachite. What's your feelings about it?
Well, malachite is really a form of copper. And in my investigations and experiments, because I do experiment quite a bit, copper is a very good conductor for spiritual energies.
Yeah.
And this is a type of conductor. You know, it's not quite the pure copper, but it's pretty much near it, because when you see copper oxidizing, it turns kind of green like this. This is the type of energy it has. Although it is a kind of strong energy that I feel with it. I really haven't used it too much, other than it has properties with healing with the DNA structures and the cells, and also the immune system, especially now with people worried about the virus and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is beneficial.
Perfect.
For something like this.
Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Which one are we going to talk about next? Rose quartz?
I guess rose quartz, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to show you my big hunk of rose quartz, and then I'm going to put it down, and Paul can carry on. Some of you have seen, this is my rose quartz. Now, honestly, you can get it in smaller little tumbled pieces. It's just sort of my feeling that everybody should have rose quartz in their life. Everybody. You need to have some of it. part of the reason is because, again, it is one of those love stones. It helps not only for self-love and for authentic love, and it also has been known to play a little role in romantic love. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, rose quartz. Here's my little chunk here.
Mm-hmm.
Not as big as yours, but I mean, it's not the size that you have with the stone, but it's you know, your proximity and use with it. It is kind of like a very soft kind of energy it has, and I look at it as kind of like when you have like rough edges around your love areas. I mean, this will them out. It's one of those types of stone that everybody really should have close to them. And also, you know, that like it's also used with stress times when you're really stressed and you feel it right in your gut. And a lot of people are experiencing right now with all this stuff that's going on. You can just place it on in that area.
Yeah.
And it should help you out.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, rose quartz is sort of known as the stone that will help you heal sadness and distrust. And of course, those are feelings that sit on the heart chakra. So for most of you, you know, the heart chakra is green, which is, of course, why malachite is so useful. But rose quartz is also very, very closely connected to the heart chakra. So again, just like Paul said, it's really super important it softens everything. It helps you sort of slow down and breathe. And it allows you the opportunity to sort of release stuff in your heart that needs to be released. Now, we're going to touch on 3 quartz over the course of this video. And I just want to say really, really quickly, one of the reasons that you find so many people resonating to just quartz, the umbrella word, because there's pink quartz and smoky quartz and clear quartz and white quartz. But part of the reason that you see so many people resonating to it is because it's considered one of the most powerful healing stones around. It heals and it amplifies energy and absorbs negative energy and releases it, and it regulates your energy. So quartz is super powerful, which if you're wondering how come you keep hearing about quartz in the course of this video, that's why. It just as a family of stones, they're really, really super powerful.
So yeah, quartz is considered an old general stone. I mean, it can be the wonderful thing about it is it can be programmed with the mind and the breath, and there's many ways of doing it. But you can actually, if you want protection, you can program it for protection, and it'll give you protection. But you know, it does absorb, so it needs to have regular cleaning for it. And there's easier ways of doing it. So that's one of the reasons why I love quartz. I mean, quartz is just a wonderful thing to have around the house.
I know it's a great stone. All right, let's move on to Moonstone. Now, Moonstone, I don't know why, but between Paul and I, both of us don't have actually big pieces of Moonstone. And both of them sort of were made into pendulums. So I'm going to show you mine and ask Paul to show you his. As you can see, this one is set with pearls. This one, Paul's, was also set as a pendant. It is a really soft, white, kind of creamy, sometimes creamy gray stone. Do you want to talk about why you like Moonstone so much? Oh, and Archangel Hanel is the one who tends to resonate with Moonstone. I'm sorry, Paul, go ahead.
That's it usually looks like a semi-translucent. You hold it up to the light and you can see light shining through it. But the most common one is kind of like a grayish, milky grayish tone. But it does come in different colors. So there's greenish colors and there's bluish colors. The wonderful thing about the Moonstone is that it resonates with the energies of the moon, and it's kind of like a soft it's just a softer kind of energy that it kind of helps you with get in touch with your feminine side, the feminine type of energies. So, and also it has a side effect of working with like a spiritual type of a stone. It helps you get in tune with your soul print, so to speak. So it's one of those stones that has it doesn't work hard. It doesn't work hard. It works in a softer,
it's a very soft energy.
softer
Okay,
energy.
so I absolutely agree with everything Paul said. Moonstone is also really good for new beginnings. It's really super for intuition and empathy, as Paul was alluding to. It is considered a talisman for good fortune. And apparently, it's also really, really good for traveling. It's a good traveling stone. As Paul said, now, women in particular are drawn to this stone almost through all aspects of their life at different times, because it's the hormones within the body, and it settles the emotions. So Moonstone, literally, you would use it in puberty. You would use it if you were trying to conceive a child, for carrying a child, childbirth. You would even use it for sort of menopausal issues, because it connects to your hormones. It balances the female and the male, and it's like yin and yang, right? It just has that energy that just it's just a very soft, gentle energy, and it has a healing sort of feel to it. It's a very feminine feel. And interestingly, I didn't know this, but I did say that I did find out that women may actually need to consider not wearing moonstone right around the time of the full moon. I wonder if that's because too much of a good thing could be just too much of a good thing. I'm not sure. But for the most people, they kind of suggest that women should not really have a lot of moonstone around them during the course of the full moon. And the other thing that I found out that I didn't know is that moonstone is actually also really good for your digestive system. So there you have that.
Yeah, it's kind of like an esoteric feel to it. It's higher energy type of things.
Yeah.
So that's how it feels to me, anyways, Heidi.
Yeah. No, it's a lovely stone. Okay. So then the next area that we thought we would try to encompass was protection. Now, typically the crystals that you use for protection, and honestly, there are so many of them. We just sort of hit our top three. Those tend to resonate to Archangel Michael, of course, because he is the ultimate protector. So why don't you tell us about smoky quartz? And while you're doing that, I'm going to show people my female. I call them the female and the male. These two pieces. Now, some of you are familiar with this piece because you've seen me use it on my tarot channel. But this is its mate. Isn't it? Can you see why I call them the male and the female? It's like one is sturdy and husky, and the other one is sort of curvy and yeah. All right, Paul. I'll shut up now. Talk about smoky quartz.
Here's my piece.
Yes.
Kind of like a full crystal that kind of like got chipped off. And by the way, when you're dealing with crystals like this, the beauty of the crystal has very little to do with what's important. What's important is the feel of the crystal, the energy. A lot of times they call these crystals warrior crystals because they've been through war. So it's when you look for a crystal, don't look for a perfect, beautiful looking one, because that necessarily may not be the one that has the highest benefit.
Yeah.
So I mean, for smoky quartz, it's really like it's like the shield. This is like a shield against negative energy. A lot of people get at times in their life they don't know what's happening, but God, I feel terrible. I feel bad. And that means that some stuff is trying to get to you. it could come anywhere. But this kind of stone and crystal can really help with that, with protection. So it's something that I recommend people to have close to where you have a lot of electronic equipment, things like that.
Yeah.
It just neutralizes negative vibrations and detoxifies on all levels.
It does,
including energy. So it also works with the elimination of the digestive system and things like that. I mean, energy. When you deal with this, you're really working with the energy. And once you fix the energy, it condenses down and gets to the body, and it helps the body.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it rages energy fields. It keeps you very productive. It's also really helpful. A lot of people like to have it around when they're meditating. I think in part because it does. It just provides that another layer of protection around you. It helps with stress. It helps with the ability to sort of tolerate almost the intolerable or difficult situations. It gives you an extra level of coping, and because it absorbs electromagnetic fog, as he said, it's a helpful thing to actually have around equipment, computer type equipment. Oh, and I just want to say, even though I have really big pieces and Paul has really big pieces, they come in a vast variety of sizes. Sometimes they look like wands, sometimes they're like clusters, but you honestly can get small, tumbled, smoky quartz. So it's an easy enough thing to carry around in your pocket or purse. I think we've covered. I mean, smoky quartz, people, you could go on about smoky quartz for like forever, because it's just one of those really useful stones, but it also has like a really sort of broad capacity. So it's helpful in a lot of different areas and for different situations. The next one we're going to talk about is amethyst. Now, again, I'm going to pick up a monster stone, but first I want to show you that, you know, amethyst is often like this, right? It's a beautiful stone. It's so pretty, and it's lavenders and purples. Oh, look at Paul's. That's gorgeous. So lavender is really an amazing crystal. And I'm going to try to pick this up without breaking myself. Oh, okay. So this is the crystal of all crystals. Okay, I call this thing the bullet. What was the name you had for it, Paul?
The lighthouse.
Yeah.
So that's when I first noticed it up on your shelf over there by the fireplace, I think.
Yes.
It was. I saw a ray of light coming out of it, going like a lighthouse going around your house. It was really amazing.
This is an incredible piece. And it is the size of a small roasting pan. And I think it's about the weight of 2 good turkeys. I'm not sure, but that thing is heavy. Go ahead, Paul. Let's chat about amethyst.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite stones. And to me, this resonates a lot with what they call the violet flame. The violet flame is a type of energy that can be used to to turn bad energy into good energy. It's like a transmutation type of energy. This is how I look at this. I mean, it does have other types of benefits, and one of the ones that it stands out, it enhances your psychic abilities, and also it's a calming stone, especially in big times of stress. Like, I have to keep bringing this up because a lot of people are going through this stuff right now, and they're under a lot of stress. I mean, I feel it. I'm not sure you feel it too. So, you know, any little bit that you can get, it helps out.
Yeah. So, and it's a really inexpensive stone too. Like it's not pricey, right? Like it's easily found and frankly easily affordable.
Yes.
Okay, so as Paul was saying, amethyst, incredibly protective, incredibly relaxing, calming. It is good for meditations, of course, and because of its properties, it is fabulous when you're using your own psychic abilities or skills. It's a nice one to have around because it does amplify. They say that how it does it in part is simply that amethyst is a link that takes you to the divine. It links you with the divine. So it's sort of almost in some ways like a bridge. And so that's amazing. Now, it helps. It's very, very powerful when it comes to protection. It sits at a very high vibrational level. It can help with psychic attack. And I have to just tell you this little story. And, okay, I'm going to excuse this by saying I wasn't at my best, okay? But the one time I experienced a psychic attack, the person who ultimately ended up, and it wasn't just me, she sort of attacked all of us, like my family. She was in a room and I had my bullet in that room, and she specifically asked that I remove it because she said it would affect her ability to record the reading or the message that she was giving. Well, okay, so now I know better, right? As soon as somebody says get rid of your amethyst, that's when you're wanting to get rid of them, okay? And like it, so just a word of wise, so it really could have protected me, and now this thing goes exactly where I want it to go, and it stays there. Interestingly, amethyst is set to help with alcohol abuse, overindulgences, addictions. Now, I wouldn't say, that just carrying a piece of amethyst is going to cure you, but what it will do is vibrationally, it will help you sort of move towards a place where maybe recovery and healing is possible. It also apparently helps with insomnia and nightmares. It helps to relieve psychological, emotional, and psychological pain. And it works exactly the same way to connect the mental, the physical, and the emotional bodies, so that frankly, amethyst helps you sort of, I think, maybe just be a little bit more pulled together, like energetically. It helps you just feel whole, not scattered, maybe.
And it's fairly inexpensive, I might say. And it comes in, I mean, this is a chunk. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it comes like in little crystals and things like that. You can get it in different forms. So it's kind of something that's not that expensive to have, but has a lot of benefits.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to talk about jet now. Now, jet is one of Paul's favorite stones. He really likes the jet, and he likes what it does. I have honestly a teeny tiny little piece here that isn't quite as polished as that. Let
me see.
He has a much lovelier piece. So, Paul, let's talk about jet.
Well, jet is it's kind of like when I was a kid. It was in my culture. The babies they get a little. It's obviously this is a small round thing, and they would clip it onto the kids, and they would say, "Oh, that's just to ward off the evil eye." I remember having one. My mother did it. I mean, all our kids did it. So jet is basically a piece of carbon from the time of the dinosaur, plant material that fossilized, mm-hmm. And it's one of the different levels of this type of stone that gets rid of negative energy. This is like it sucks it up.
Yeah.
And you don't have to clear it. It just sucks it up. That's the energy of it. It's something that's also inexpensive. It's very light. If you can feel it's kind of light and kind of a little bit of shiny. I think you have black tourmaline there. Yeah, that's black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is another type. This one is a little more potent when it comes to this type of stuff. Black tourmaline.
Yeah.
This can get a little expensive depending on the size. And there's one other one, if you don't mind me saying.
Yes, please.
This is called shungite. Shungite is another. It's almost pure carbon from an area in Russia, and in Russia, that's the only place it exists. Shungite River, And back when Chernobyl blew up, they threw tons of the stuff inside of there because it does absorb radiation. And radiation, I mean, it absorbs negative stuff. And that's how the Russians partly got it under control. It's really amazing. A lot of those people died anyways because they would give them, hey, wear all this stuff and throw these bricks inside, and then they came back and they died. A lot of people died that way. But they got it under control, but mostly under control.
Okay. All right. So what I know about Jet is exactly as he said, it draws out negative energy. It protects against dark energy. So a couple of things that I thought were interesting. It helps to draw out your unreasonable fears, which is like a good thing, right? Those things that you're afraid of for no good, it helps move those out of your system so that they can be healed. The other thing I found really interesting, it can help stabilize finances, although again, citrine is my personal favorite for that. It helps with migraines and colds. And the other thing I did not know about it was that in jewelry, Jet should be set in silver. Oh, listen, see, I knew you liked it way better than me. Right?
It's just a bracelet,
yeah.
And it's very light. So.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let's move on to the next healing stone. I think there's one more. Oh, nope, we're done. Okay, so we're going to go into clearing now.
Spiritual.
Okay, so we talked a little bit a few minutes ago about the power of quartz, and we're going to talk now about clear quartz. And you know what? Honestly, you can get it in like this. You can get little tumbled guys. You can get funky ones that are a little bit more raw looking. And Paul has a beautiful one there. Almost everybody needs to have some clear quartz. Clear quartz and smoky quartz, kind of in my world, are the two, and amethyst are kind of those three must-have stones. Even if you have nothing else, I really feel people should have amethyst, smoky quartz, and clear quartz. So clear quartz is considered it's an energy transformation stone. It functions, it amplifies, it is a generator, it is a receiver, it is a clearer. And as you can see from this stone that Paul is holding up, they're beautiful on the inside. Whoop, hold on, back up a bit. There we go. They're beautiful, and when you look at the inside of them, it really does feel like there's a story in there that's waiting to be told or heard. They're saying that clear quartz literally brings gifts of divine guidance, motivation, and clarity. It is considered the most powerful healing energy amplifier on the planet. Paul.
Yes, that is correct. If you had a choice of only one stone to have quartz. And here's another type of quartz. This is called Lemurian seed crystals, and you can tell that. See it?
Yeah. If you look, you can see the lines.
You can see the lines.
And what they say is, if you hold the crystal and you gently rub it,
right,
it will tell you a story.
I have a story. Can I tell it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Let me get it. It's right here. This is my first. I even built a box. I was so impressed. I built a box for it. I call this the old man. It's a Lemurian seed crystal. It's kind of beat up, which I said, it's not really. I don't know if you can see the lines. Yeah, you can see the lines. Anyways, I go, listen, man. So I read about that, and I said, well, what am I going to do? So I started meditating and rubbing it, like this with your thumb and stuff. And this thing told me, he said, all religions and all beliefs lead back to God. Some take longer than others. That was the message. And I go, did I imagine that, or it just told me that? So anyways, that's the old man.
Yeah. I actually have I have 3 pieces of Lemurian crystal. It is a lovely, lovely stone. And it's also so with just of the Lemurian is that it will only talk to you when it trusts you and it understands your intentions are for good. Otherwise, the stone is virtually non-responsive.
Yeah, non-active.
Yeah, if you are not the person the Lemurian crystal wants to be with, it does nothing, it says nothing.
And
So
here's I want to just show you my other piece of quartz. This is the biggest one I have.
it's beautiful.
It weighs like 4 pounds. It's huge.
Mhm.
It's a polished stone.
Yeah.
But it is a terminator, which means that most of the energy comes off the top here. So I just wanted to quickly say that. And then
Okay.
let's see, Apophyllite.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing about the clear quartz is it is believed to bring, I just like this phrase, it is believed to bring the stars to your soul. Isn't that like, yeah, isn't that nice? I really like that one.
That is a very, really nice thought.
Isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Paul, let's talk about Apophyllite. Go ahead. Raphael and Hanel tend to be the archangels that it resonates to. Go ahead.
Well, Apophyllite is kind of like a pyramid shape, and this is just the tip of the crystal. It comes mainly from India, and what it is they hit it and they break off the tip, and it kind of shears. Let me see. Yeah. You see how straight that is? That's how it shears. And this is considered a very high energy stone, and it's a very highly spiritual stone because you can see right through it. If you take it out in the sunlight, you can see all kinds of different colors inside of it. And it's considered the angel stone. It's something that if you want to get in touch with an angel, this is what you need to. I would just put it.
Yeah.
And go and meditate on it, and you might actually talk to an angel. I mean, that's the kind of stone it is. It's a very, very high power stone.
Yeah.
But it's not in a harsh way, though. By the way, I mean, a lot of people don't understand that. These are all these stones that we're talking about are very soft. They can't hurt you.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So Apophyllite, obviously, it's great. Now, cool. It is really good for meditations. It helps calm and ground the spirit, but it connects you often to angelic energy. So it feels like a stone. I almost want to say with a higher purpose, if you know what I mean. Like there are working stones, right? Like amethyst and smoky quartz, those are working stones. Where Apophyllite just feels a little bit more elevated than that because it does help you connect with those sort of higher spiritual energies and beings. It is said that when you have some in your home, it brings purity and spiritual presence into the home. And again, it is often used to connect with guardian angels, spirit guides, and it also allows you to visit with higher angelic realms if you get really good at it.
Oh, I'm sure everybody has those capabilities. They just need to believe that they do and try it. I mean, it's really amazing once you make that connection. It's like you can get so high, like you go, whoa, am I going to fall down? I'm so high.
Yeah. Kind of be careful. And I also discovered that it will help you release suppressed emotions, and it is a really good connector, apparently, to the Akashic records, which of course are the records that talk about the history of your life, the world, are all written in the Akashic records.
That is correct. Yep.
Okay.
And it also helps with to keep you calm and from relief of being anxious.
Yeah.
And again, I have to bring it up because people are anxious right now, and there's something that could really possibly help if you're getting tuned. It's one of those stones that you need to get in tune with. It's not that easily accessible, but once you figure out a way to do it, it's very, very positive things can come out of it.
All right, Labradorite. Now,
oh, yeah,
he's got a really beautiful piece. I'm going to show you mine. Mine is in pendant form. And you can see the colors. They're really pretty. And Labradorite tends to resonate with Hanel, Michael, and Raguel. Yeah, see, his is beautiful. You can really see the colors that move through the stone.
Inside of it, it has a lot of like blues and greens and but it has to be at the right angle. And
Yeah.
if you can go outside in the sunlight and put it in the sun and just look at it, I mean, you can almost meditate on the stone.
Yes.
It's that good of a stone. It's a stone of transformation, and it helps to bring compassion when you're going through rough spots, and everybody has those. I mean, I have plenty myself, so I'm sure everybody else around there does. So
okay. Go ahead.
The other thing I was going to say, it also helps with disorders of the eyes and the brain, and it stimulates the mental ability of people. So it's got that kind of energy. So it's good to have. I mean, that big chunk. I was in the shop that I go to when I want to find weird crystals, and it was only like $8. It wasn't that big.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not that expensive. So I looked at it and I said, whoa, that's mine.
So Labradorite, part of the reason I think that everybody, when you see it, you just sort of get really nice, warm feelings about it. It just has a gentleness. And Labradorite is said to represent the temple of the stars. It assists you in discovering your destiny and provides clarity and insight. It's highly mystic, it's protective, it deflects unwanted energies, it prevents energy blockages. It is considered the stone of esoteric knowledge. And it aligns your physical and your etheric bodies. And it helps with disappointment. And that's cool. It actually is said to help with disappointments, not only from this life, but with previous lives. It can actually help facilitate healing there. So, and the last thing Labradorite is said to do is it strengthens your faith in yourself and in the universe, which is lovely. Let's talk about selenite, Paul. You go ahead. I'm just going to hold up my pretty little selenite.
Selenite is one of my favorites because it's a mineral that when you have sheetrock and people who build houses, you know what sheetrock is? Mm-hmm. It's the same kind of material. So we have it all around the houses, except that's more in crystal form, and it comes in several forms. That's one of them. Mm-hmm. And here's another one. It's called Desert Rose. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yes, there we go. Okay, that's good. There you go. Okay, Desert Rose.
This is the same kind of material, and there's another type that comes in sheets. It's almost like a piece of glass. Not that clear, but I don't have a sample of that.
Okay.
But that's more crystallized. And the wonderful thing about the selenite, I found it's just a conduit for energy. It just sends energy fast through it. Yeah. And also has the one of the wonderful protection. It's kind of like builds a shield around you. And let me show you a piece here. And this is kind of like in a bar. And when you have quartz,
yeah,
you can set your quartz on top of it, and just the proximity clears your quartz. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It clears anything that you put on it and near it, as far as quartz is concerned. So if you're worried about, I can't clear quartz, get a piece of selenite. Yeah. You can buy like round pieces like that for that purpose only on like Etsy or eBay or places like that, and it's not that expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly. I mean, selenite is just considered that it's a real powerful cleanser, right? It just.
Yeah, it's like soap for bad energy.
Yeah. Now, and the other thing that it will help you do, and one day, if this video goes over well, Paul and I will be back, because one of the things that it helps you do that he's actually really good at and quite knowledgeable about is programming your crystals. You know, and getting them so that they're working for you kind of the way you want them to. And apparently selenite is helpful for that. Now, I want to kind of apologize to Paul. I received from him the most beautiful wand, very much like the selenite piece that he was showing you. And literally, I do not have it in close enough proximity that I can grab it. So I promise you the next show, the next video we do, I will have my wand. It's an incredibly beautiful piece. And I was honored to receive it. So selenite it's just one of those things that if you're going to have a lot of crystals, it's handy to have around. You know, put your crystals around it, and it just clears. And it can help you in expanding your awareness, and it helps you contact spiritual guides and angels. So that's what we know about selenite.
Yeah, it also works on the crown and the higher level of chakras for opening those. When people, a lot of people have, I'm a Reiki Master, I'm like you. And when I would treat people, I would treat their chakras. I don't treat the body. I just treat their chakras. And you can tell, you know, hey, your crown chakra is kind of clogged up, and you do your Reiki stuff and you clear it out. And then, you know, the energy starts to flow because that's where everything comes in. And then it just starts to go down into all the other chakras. So that's kind of, it works in that kind of stuff. One of the uses that I have this for is it's when it's in this form, I call them a blade.
Oh, okay.
And whenever I start to feel a really gunky black energy around me, dark stuff, I just use it like a scrape.
Yeah.
And it scrapes all, you know, I can use it all over my body, my head, my face. And I found this to be very useful when it's in this form, to be able to, you know, sometimes you just feel the bad energy sticking to you. It's like, ooh. And that's when I do it. So
I think it sounds like it is a stone version of sage. Right?
Yeah, sage is pretty good to have. However, I have found certain situations where it is not enough. So, but for most people, sage should be enough to have. And it's something good to have. I mean, you just do it with the windows open because it just smokes up your house. Oh, something awful.
Puppies. Okay, so I want to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Paul, for being with me today and sharing this with me. I really value your knowledge and your expertise, and I look forward to us doing another one of these videos in the near future.
Yes.
Thank you to all of you who have joined us today. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if this is something that interests you. Paul.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, thank you so much for letting me help you out. And I have quite extensive knowledge and use and experimentation with crystals. So maybe we can impart some of that for some benefit of your audience.
Yeah.
And I'll be more than happy to help you.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you ever so much. And until next time, stand in your power, stand in your light. Bye-bye.